Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you've watched our podcast. You know it's chaos every time.
I
So
love
that's the vibe
chaos.
we're going into is we're just gonna talk about our knitting. It'll be great.
Stunning. I love it.
Hi friends. I'm
Hi
Matt,
guys. And I'm Zach.
and this is the We Show Needles podcast.
Woo!
Woohoo! Today is Thursday, June 1st. Kristen is still out on her maternity leave, loving on her baby. So thank you from me and from her to everyone for all the sweet messages and the thoughts and the prayers and the good vibes and all that good stuff. She's doing great. Baby's doing great. She's home. So all is well there.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to podcast like 2 weeks ago with my brother, and I just didn't. So I apologize. We have family stuff going on. It didn't happen, but I'm back. Things are good now. So, and Zach offered to join me, which is so sweet. Well, I asked Zach to join me and he indulged. So
I did.
here we are. Absolutely.
Yay.
He has a much better background than me. Mine's just
It's usually just my background for when I record mine. So
Love
happy
it.
Pride Month, everybody.
Happy Pride. Yes, absolutely. Love it. We're both wearing, I have my Inclusion Matters shirt and Pride socks on. So that's how I'm repping today.
I got my gay glasses that I wear pretty much every day that I get so many compliments on at work. I got my Pride flag, and this is last year's Target merch that I bought on sale. Like, I feel like I bought it in like November of last year.
Gosh.
So it was like on sale, and I was like, because I didn't get anything. So
absolutely. I was looking at the Target Pride section last week.
I have a beer glass. It says "Cheers Queers" on it, and I bought the doormat, the rainbow doormat.
Yes, I want the doormat. The Target I was at didn't have it, so I'm looking for the doormat, and then I'm gonna get 2 of the lawn chairs. Did you see those?
I did see those. I don't really love.
Cute.
They're cute. I don't own any lawn chairs, so maybe I like should, but I'm like, I don't really love the rainbow shade it's in. Kind of muted.
Yeah, I kind of like the muted vibe. I keep lawn chairs in the back of my car for my niece and nephew's soccer games, and they're in like a very conservative town, so I think it would be hysterical to show up to their
would be so funny
with my Pride chairs. And I'm already I mean, I'm me, so I'm not exactly timid or quiet about it anyway. So
nope. Yeah. Exactly.
Love it. So we're just gonna dive in. We have knitting. I have knitting, crochet, and cross stitch today. So
I just knit.
Just knit. I love it.
I just have knitting stuff.
You do the other? Do you ever crochet or anything?
I have kits to punch needle. I have kits to punch needle that I haven't started yet, but I want to learn how to punch needle. I have some embroidery stuff.
Yeah.
That I want to try, but I have so little time to do things. And I find that with knitting, I can just pick it up and go. I don't want to worry about learning something new right now.
Absolutely.
I'm so busy.
The exact same way is it's like knitting is just easy to, it's not easy, but you know what I mean? Like I already know it. I don't have to.
I know what I'm doing.
Learn anything new. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just realized I did not have you introduce yourself. So
that's okay.
Who are you? And tell us about your channel.
Hi, everybody. My name is Zach. I am the host of the Knit Nat Chat knitting podcast. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Knack Zack. Yeah, I'm based up in St. Paul, Minnesota. Yeah. And
you work at a yarn store, right?
I work super part-time at Muse 2320, which is a yarn store down in Hastings, Minnesota. But my main job, I am a barista for Caribou Coffee, which is a coffee corporation brand, Minnesota based. So yeah.
Love it. Absolutely. We are kindred spirits with the yarns, the coffee, all the good stuff.
Very nice.
Except for how you knit socks, but I'll let it slide.
I mean, that's okay. Yeah. I'll just go there now. Okay.
What we're knitting, yeah.
I am knitting on my February and March sock sets for the Troop 2320 sock collection that Sarah's doing. So she's basically going kind of along the Mississippi River and picking different areas to focus on along the Mississippi River. So January's first month was Lake Itasca, which is the headwaters of the Mississippi. And then February, we went all the way down to New Orleans because Mardi Gras. So this is Mardi Gras. And then we went somewhere, I think this one is Icebreaker. I think it just has to do with like the glaciers
Okay.
that like helped form the river and stuff.
Yeah.
And I have both February, March. I have April and May's that I have to show later as well that I haven't touched. So
sweet. Very cool. I've been knitting on my Illuminate sweater. This one is the Illuminate Andrew Mowry.
yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm using this one's Malabrigo. I don't remember the colorway. And then my mohair is Arkansas Yarn Co. I think the color is graphite. It's mohair held double.
Yeah.
So I started this last year in like October, and I took it on my Thanksgiving trip with me and did all the color work at Thanksgiving, which you can't see super well, but it looks really, really good. I really love that look. And then I just put it down. I don't really know why. I didn't touch it again.
I feel that.
Yesterday.
I have a few projects like that right now.
And I mean, I guess I kind of do know why. After I finished the color work, I showed it on a podcast, and I got like a dozen messages from people who had made it, who were like, hey, don't follow the pattern after that. Like, you're going to have to stop and try it on and do some increasing. Like, the yoke, the way it's written is really weird. It's not going to fit. And like one girl who's like, I make my sweaters to the same measurements you do, and I had to change that a lot. And so then I just kind of put it down because I didn't want to do all that. So
did you do that work yet? Or you just
so I tried it on last night, and I've been measuring. I don't think I have to do any increasing, but I do need to do like 3 inches deeper on the yoke for it to get to the right spot where it's not like right in my armpit. So sorry, my dog is pacing around. I'm gonna a quick pause to let her out because she was just scratching at the door. So sorry. Yeah, so I'm doing measuring and stuff. I'm gonna have to make my yoke a lot deeper, but I don't think I need to be increasing. But I'm gonna do like 5 more rows, hopefully, while we sit here, and then I'll stop and I'll put it back on barber cords and try it on and see where it's at.
Yeah.
So that's my plan.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited to have it. I won't be able to wear it till like winter because it's warm. But I'm making it fairly oversized, so it's not gonna be like tight to my body warm. So I think it'll be like cozy sweater with leggings. I'll be able to wear it in the fall.
I need to be better about that, making like fluffier, if that makes more sense. Sweaters. I tend to make sweaters that like are my exact like chest circumference, and I always am in the like, this is really hot. I wish I could just wear this all the time.
Yeah,
so,
I definitely have like clothing sensory issues a little bit with some stuff. Like, I don't like things, especially with my neck, really. Like, I don't want things tied around my neck. And so I end up with like either oversized, or I like cut the neck on most of my shirts because like I just can't, if it's any higher than this, I just feel like I'm dying. So
I get it. Fair enough.
Yep. Well, I finished a couple pairs of socks. Do you have any FOs?
I have one FO with me, and then I had an FO that I never took a picture of that I gave to my mom. So
I did the same thing. I finished 2 pairs of socks for my brother and my sister-in-law, and I gifted them last weekend and didn't take a picture. Oops.
Funny.
So I showed them. They were like my mixed match socks I showed in the last podcast. They're like fraternal twin socks.
Oh yeah.
So I just finished those. You guys got
fishing socks.
Yeah. But I have 2 more pairs of socks. I have everyone will be excited that these are done, so I can stop showing them. My butter and jelly socks that for some reason took 3 months for these shorties. Like, it was stupid. This is a sock set from Kimber's Cozy Creations.
Are they self-striping, or is it?
No, it was 2 50-gram skeins. And so I striped them, and I did like opposites. So this one was the full mane and the peanut butter mane. And
2 rows each? Sorry.
Yeah. Yep, I did 2 rows each, and then just an afterthought heel. And then the toe, I just kept the striping going.
Very nice.
Instead of anything else. These sets are adorable. They came with, you could choose either grape or strawberry jelly. So I got the grape, and then they came with little like peanut butter and jelly stitch markers that are so cute. So these are just for me. I just have to weave in my ends, but they are done.
Wow.
And then yesterday, literally the 31st of May, I finished my May Desert Vista Dye Works socks, which I almost did not make it, but
cute.
These are, I think the colorway is like teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. It's something cute. Yeah. So these are a gift for one of my sister-in-laws. Her birthday's coming up soon. I just did 60 stitches, 20 rows ish of 2x2 rib, and then I knit the tubes. I knit these during movies, And then yesterday I sat down.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
Yeah, I think this one I knit during Guardians of the Galaxy yesterday, day before yesterday. It was really good. And then this one I knit during Mario, the Super Mario Brother movie.
Oh,
those were both really good. And I plan to go see Little Mermaid today or tomorrow. So I need to cast on this month's Desert Vista Dye Work socks so I can.
Are they Little Mermaid themed?
No, I actually I brought the yarn out here, but it disappeared. So somewhere.
Oh, did it fall? Was it the yarn that fell?
I think it did. Yeah.
You guys. I was like, there was yarn there.
Yeah, it's gone. It's the Stranger Things season 4 colorway from Desert Vista Dye Works. So I'm gonna knit those for my husband because I have no mojo. So I'm trying just to like knit things for really knit-worthy people, and maybe that will give me some mojo back. Fair enough. My husband's the most knit-worthy person I know. So that's all I finished, I think, though.
I guess you can have your straight love during Pride Month.
Oh man,
my favorite thing
recently, Zach.
Okay. Well, you would have seen it in my last podcast. I was working on the Ulta in Autumn poncho. So I finished that and I gave it to my mom for Mother's Day and she loved it. Yeah. And then finally, like 3 months post-production, post-release date, I finally finished my Gano cardigan, which I was test knitting. It's a black cardigan knit in 3x1 rib in fingering weight.
You're insane.
Pieced.
You're a maniac. Why did you sign up for that test?
Because I loved the aesthetic of it.
Vibe, yeah.
I love like, if I show it this way, you can like kind of see the lines on the ribbon a little bit.
That's cool.
Plus I knit it in the yarn that the designer knitted in. So I bit the bullet and I ordered yarn from Portugal. And it was because it was cheaper to buy it and have it shipped to me from Portugal than to buy it from a store that had it in stock in the States. Because they didn't have like an upcharge of like them having had it shipped.
The wholesaling. Mm-hmm.
So I knit it in Mondine Sock by Retrosaria in Petroleum. Just their like solid black color.
That's so pretty.
Yeah. And then I got these a bundle of like 10 silver buttons from our bestie Joanne.
We love Joanne.
Yeah. If I were to knit it again, I would try to knit it fully like flat, knit like the front and back panels all together instead of knitting 2 front panels and a back panel separately. Like take away some stitches and then just
just knit it as one piece.
Yeah, just knit it as one piece.
I thought you meant like front and back, and I was like, and then you would steek the front. Like, why would you do that?
I mean, I could.
You could.
That could be an option, but the hem is the hem.
The selvage button band.
The button band. Thank you. The button band is like knit on at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So it's not knit after. It's like a slip stitch pattern. It's really fun.
I feel like you could easily make that knit flat, like in one piece instead of seam.
Yeah, I mean, and then the only time you'd have to split would be for the shaping and everything.
Shaping and
the slight V-neck cardigan. I'd probably only ever wear it open. I also would want to knit it a little bit longer. I had ordered 4 skeins of the yarn, and I knew I was only going to use 3, but I can't find my 4th skein. So I feel like I used 3 skeins and most of my 4th. And I was like, I thought I had more accounted for when I ordered, but oh well.
Weird.
So there's that.
So it looks really, really good. Love it.
And I probably won't wear it until it gets a little bit cooler as well. Because I basically made it to be like a layering piece for another job for like when I worked like theater shows. Because theaters are cold. So I have like I work at the Performing Arts Center here in St. Paul, Ordway, and our like show dress code is a red button up that they provide and like a black cardigan.
That's perfect. Heck yeah. Then you can wear something made.
If I still end up working there, because I haven't worked there for a while because I've been busy and my boss doesn't need me. So
well, there's that.
Yeah. And I'm like, especially this time of year, they don't need extra people because there aren't many shows.
Yeah.
I'll probably just be back in December for the winter show, but also that was really hectic and other stuff is happening in my life that I may just end up stop.
Seeing that in your Vlogmas, and you were going like nonstop.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a busy time of year.
Mm-hmm.
One more break for my dog. Hopefully this is the last time she barks at me.
Dog break.
This is that Desiree Sedai works that I'm gonna do.
There it is. Found it.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's
Pretty.
Just called Stranger Things 4. He'll like it. It's a good one. I like that it has a mini.
I like the mini too. It's a nice one.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about some whips.
Whip it out.
Whip it out. I really do not have much. Like I've had like no mojo, so I haven't cast on anything new. And I'm just kind of like sitting with the stuff I have, not touching it. It's not great, but
I have quite a few.
I love that. Well, I have one pair of socks, which is so bizarre. But it's a test knit and they're so fun. I think it comes out like tomorrow.
Oh, so exciting.
It is. And
you're not done yet?
No, I'm not. It's the Grannies in a row sock. So you literally have like crocheted granny squares. You start with the granny squares.
That's so cute.
What? Then you pick up and do like this stripe in the cuff, and then you come back and pick up down here and do the rest of the sock. So it has like little stripes with the pearl bumps. I'm doing like tall enough where they just peek out the top of my docks, because that's what I do the most often. Like my boot length. So I'm on the foot. I got through enough that I was able to like give notes for the test, but no, I did not finish the sock because I lost all mojo.
Yeah.
It's Stress Knits Gradient Gourds. It's this.
That's fine. It looks familiar. Okay.
And then this is all the Gradient Gourd mini set to go with it. So that's what I used. And it's in a barley pearl bag, which I love barley pearls. And she started doing like new handles that you can add on. So this one's a little roller on the handle.
I love that.
Right. Yeah, so that's that. I could have finished this many times and I just didn't, but it'll be really fun when it is done. I really love little Grannies.
That's so cute.
The pattern has like so many different variations. She includes instructions for a heel flat, for an afterthought heel, for a fish lips kiss heel, for 10 different kinds of striping, whether you use minis or self-striping, or it's like crazy how many options there are. It's really fun. So
I love that. Big
fan of that one. And then I only have one other. I have my shawl, so I'll just show it and I'll let you take the show.
Stunning.
This one, I don't remember what the shawl is called.
The new one.
Yeah. It's not the quilted triangles because
I was gonna say, I was like, is it that one?
It's that yarn. I just didn't do the quilted triangles.
Got it.
I saw this one pop up. It's the Moor shawl, Moor, and it's so dang pretty. So it's literally knit, like I'm knitting this side, like two triangles kind of that you join together. Let me just find a picture. Can y'all see that?
Ooh.
Yeah, I really like it. It's nice. Like a good, just over the shoulder, like it'll be a good back of my desk chair kind of shawl.
Who designed that? Susan Summers?
What is her name? Who are you?
It looks like a Susan pattern. That's why I was curious.
It kind of does, but it's not. It is, Vera Valimaki.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really well written. I'm enjoying it a lot. So my yarns, this one is Mace of Skeins.
Tweed.
Yeah, I love her tweed. In the colorway Winter Pine. So it's my dark green. Then this one, I haven't used this one yet, but it is Arcane Fiberworks in this Moraine Lake. Kristen bought me that one, or Kristen's mom. Somebody bought me that for dog sitting. I think it was Kristen's mom.
Nice.
And then I have this one, which is, wait a second. No, this is the Arcane Fiberworks. This is the Moraine Lake. And that gray one is this KFI Collections. Yeah, it's from Kristen's mom. I don't know where this is from, but it's cute.
Oh, nice.
And then I have one from Cinematic Skeins, which is my like dark teal.
Ooh.
Yeah, that she sent me in the colorway Near Dark. So
Near Dark.
Right. I love them so much. And it's just like a 2-row repeat, super easy shawl. So I actually could take this to the movies and I could probably manage that. So love it, love it. That's all my knitting though.
Stunning. I did realize that I forgot a whip literally across the room. So since I'm here, we'll just start with this one. This is my Lava Lake shawl by Stephen West. Look at that.
That is so pretty. Those are Stephen colors too.
Yeah. So funny thing about it, if you haven't seen my recent episodes, me talking about it, so the first 5 colors, are all from my shawlography MCal.
Yeah.
And then the color that I'm working on right now is a fingering weight by Muse. So
that's awesome.
It like fully completes the fade.
Heck yeah.
Like so well. I'm almost to the center point of it, and then I can start decreasing. And I adjusted all of the striping and everything to use up as much of this yarn as possible, so I don't have any leftovers, because this is already a leftover shawl.
That's nice.
So yeah, loving it so far.
On the second half, like, do you repeat those same colors or do you do new colors?
You repeat the same colors, so you'll fade back the other way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a super easy chart. It's literally like a 24 like stitch repeat. It's just this like yarn over section. Yeah.
Very cool.
So nice. And I have this one in my Fringe Supply Co. canvas drawstring that I bought when they were going out of business.
Yeah, cute. I love fringe bags. They're so good.
Yeah. So there's that one. I did work on a few sections of my jigsaw puzzle blanket that I have had. I don't remember, I didn't put a stitch marker where I was last time, but
I want to start one of these. That's so fun.
It's so fun. So there's that.
Oh, yours is big.
Yeah, I'm like more than halfway done.
That's awesome.
I think about a little less than half, I think.
That's very cool.
Trying to think where I was last time. I feel like since last I was over here, I had like done like this blue triangle, and I did like all of this. Like I did a lot. Like I like finished my podcast last month, and I was like, I want to knit on this, and then I did while watching the 100.
I love that show. That is so good.
Yeah. I'm like halfway through season 2, and I just like didn't get into season 2, so I stopped watching it.
Yeah, I get that. Absolutely. I watched that. Buddy and I watched that last year, probably. It might have been like one of our quarantine shows. I think. But I think we binged it around then.
Got it. And I have this sitting in a tote with all of my like Muse scraps, DK, and fingering. Most of this is just DK by itself, and then I have some sections that are fingering held double. So the weight kind of varies slightly because of, you know, DK and fingering held double is slightly different. But yeah, this section, I have some slub in this one section.
Oh, that's fun. Pretty. Yeah. I love slub. It's the best.
Yeah. So this is very much like a scrap project that I'm loving. Oh, and I got this tote at Home Goods.
Love it. Love it. I'm going there later today.
I'm gonna buy this tote. Copy me.
Oh my gosh, right? I wish. My little brother's traveling this month, my youngest brother, and he doesn't have luggage. So his birthday's like on the 10th, and then he leaves on his trip on the 14th. So for his birthday, we're buying him, me and a couple of my brothers, like a really nice luggage set. So I'm taking him shopping to go get his luggage.
Nice. Okay, I have 2 more.
This is the place to go for that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. My next whip is a tank top that I'm knitting for Nicole's tank along.
Yeah.
I am knitting the Friday Summer Tank by Kevin Haggerty. I'm knitting it in Dapple by Brooklyn Tweed, because it's, I think either the line is going out or like they're just doing a revamp on the colors. So like the yarn store that's nearby was like doing a sale on it, and I snagged some for real cheap, and I was like, love that. I'm being honest, I didn't love knitting the start of it. It was slightly confusing. Not everything is fully worded the way, it's not like hand-holdy. It's very much like you need to know how you're knitting and how the knitting needs to be.
Oh yeah.
It's like slightly annoying. And I was like, I sometimes like a little hand-holding, sometimes. But then also with this side panel, so it's a 4x4x4. I didn't understand that from the instruction, so I just did like 12 stitches of reverse stockinette for like 2 or 3 inches, and I looked at it, I was like, that looks weird. And then I was messaging the designer, and he was like, yeah, it's supposed to be like a 4x4. I was like, oh.
Okay.
And it was like too far in. I was gonna like decrease and like do increases to like do a little like diamond, just to do it like just to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. To make,
yeah. So like basically taking, so the people know if they don't understand, taking this, bringing all of like doing a little diamond that way, and then reverse stockinette, have the center be reverse stockinette, but instead it was too far down. It was like, I think I was like here, and it was too far down. It would be kind of awkward, so I just like ripped out. I didn't rip it out. I like got to where I needed to be in the middle. I dropped down. And I picked up, and it was kind of a fiasco, but like I did it, and I was like, oh. Those are my favorite things when you can be like, and I switched it from reverse stockinette to stockinette, and I was like, okay, yarn.
I know. Look at me, expert. Oh my god. Okay.
And also, can you see my line?
Oh, is it supposed to be the same color?
Yes. And here's the thing. I was fading the two skeins, and I was fading it too far in. So there was a point where they like truly were like the exact same yarn, but then it like switched to this darker shade. And right when it switched to the darker shade, I ran out of my first skein. And I was like, are you kidding me?
That is so annoying. Yeah, because that's kind of drastic on camera.
Yeah, but it's also like far enough down my body where I don't really care.
Yeah.
And I even like was looking at all of the skeins because it's dapple, and it's just tends to, I have a t-shirt that I knit in dapple that's like pretty similar, where you can tell that I didn't alternate skeins. It's like just different shades of black, and I'm like, this is fine.
Yeah. Yikes.
Happens. But like these two colors are pretty much the exact same.
Yeah, the right one looks lighter to me.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, on camera it looks a little lighter.
Yeah.
But
similar enough though. Like whatever. If it doesn't bother you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's far enough down on my body where I don't really care.
Yeah.
So
makes
I was working at sweater camp with a lady. I was doing the help desk, and the lady was like, if somebody is that close seeing your mistakes, they're way too close and they shouldn't be buying you dinner. Especially when it comes to like garments.
Yeah.
And, like where mistakes are in garments. It's like, if somebody's that close to you, they better be buying you dinner or a drink or several.
That stuff. Like there's so many imperfections in store-bought things, and that's just normal. It's like an industry standard. So in our knits, like in our head, we expect it to be perfect because we made it, but like nothing you buy off a rack is perfect, and it doesn't need to be. Like it's not that noticeable ever.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of like, sometimes, I mean, I'll drop down and fix stuff, and some things are more noticeable than others, but there are so many mistakes in everything I make, and I do know.
I have so many different, like, oh, I accidentally purled here during this 3x1 rib. Weird. Yeah. Okay, last whip.
Yay.
This is like the beginnings, I don't even know if you can see, of the Old Port hat by Andrea Mowry.
Oh yeah.
Which was the DRK like hat challenge for Memorial Weekend. And I was very busy Memorial Weekend. I cast this on Saturday, and I got to the brioche like Monday night. I like started the brioche Monday night. Yeah. So obviously didn't finish the hat in the weekend, but I wanted brioche. I haven't had a brioche project in so long.
I haven't either. I'm trying to find like little projects that might bring back my mojo. Like I'm going to cast on a pair of Journey socks because they're so quick. I'm hoping that'll do it. But other little stuff, like I just need something quick and simple, I think, because I just don't want to knit at all.
I get that. And then these are the two yarns I'm knitting in. This is a Minnesota dyer named Palmer Yarn Co.
Yeah.
Palmer Yarn Company.
Follow her on Instagram.
Yeah. This is the colorway Pine. This is on her DK Flush. Squish DK base. 250 yards for 115 grams.
Heck yeah.
And then my variegated color is Spin Cycle Rusted Rainbow, which is very pride. I didn't really like fully plan that.
Oh my God, nice. Love it. So how appropriate.
Rainbows unintentionally.
I love it.
Yeah, this is actually, I had bought, there's only one yarn store in Minnesota that carries Spin Cycle. And pretty much anytime I go there, I'll pick up a skein or two. And this is me finally using one of my Spin Cycle skeins.
I love it. I think I have one that I have hoarded. But then I get a lot of like I can't remember the brand, but the yarn is called Crazy.
Yarn Hero. Oh, Zauberball?
Yeah, no. It's not Zauberball. I've had those before too. It's, gosh, Arkansas Yarn Co. has it. And it comes in a hank, so it's not Zauberball.
Oh.
It's called Crazy.
I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this. So I'm doing something a bit different. I cast on with my yarn B technically and did like my lining in my yarn B because I still wanted my yarn A to be like the Spin Cycle, but I didn't want to like use all of it in like this like lining that you knit beforehand. So to do that, and then when I was starting the brioche, I joined my yarn A and started it as written, basically is what I did. So knitting it on the recommended needles, US 3 and a US 4. Currently on the US 3 doing brioche. And it's fun because it alternates brioche. So it's a syncopated.
Oh, I love that.
Brioche. Yeah. And the first time I did syncopated brioche was in 2020 when I did Susan Summers' brioche and mystery knit along.
Yeah.
That was a fun pattern.
Fun.
I did so many new brioche things in that project. There was a lot in that project. I'm interested to see what this year's of her brioche shows up as. I love her patterns.
I love stuff like that. Absolutely. This is the yarn. It's the Stonehenge Fiber Mill Crazy. And those are the ones I use. This was my shift cowl.
Ooh.
It's like very similar vibes. This cowl was a fun one. Like looking at it, I'm like, I kind of want to knit another one of those. I love that.
Yeah, I have the shift or the night shift.
I've done the shawl,
but not in Spin Cycle.
Yeah. I've done the shawl and the cowl. The shawl I did in solids, and I gifted that to my sister.
I did too. I did solids and variegated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to knit another of those though. I have a couple of skeins of like Christmas colors in that yarn. I think like a Christmas cowl could be really fun. I would wear that for the holidays. I have some cross stitch, and then I have a crochet project.
Oh, stunning! I forgot where I am in my socks now. What way am I? Oh, okay.
I have just been searching for a craft that I had mojo to do. So I picked up a cross stitch kit the other day that I came across in like Michael's or something. And it's
love her.
Star Wars. So cute. So I got it for my husband because he streams. And so he's got like all kinds of stuff in his background for his Twitch streaming. So I figured he could hang this on the wall back there. But it's this little kit and it's adorable. I got to like pick which figures. So I let him pick. I know. So I love it. It's turning out really adorable. I just need to finish the little R2D2 and then wash and frame it for him. But that'll be my first ever cross stitch project. And it's so satisfying and so just like simple. It's just like a really simple motion and I'm enjoying it a lot. So that's that. I probably only worked on this like 2 or 3 evenings and I just have like 30 minutes left and I would finish that R2D2. I just haven't touched it because I haven't wanted to. Yeah. And then I started another big cross stitch project, but I barely started. So it's not, this one will be like a full picture. And it's actually, I like started in the middle and I wanted to start in the
You're
bottom.
like, nah, fam.
Yeah. This is going to be like this is big. It's going to be a picture of my sister-in-law's cat.
So cute.
I found an app where I could turn pictures into cross stitch patterns, and I like it gives you exactly like what threads you need. So I have all the colors for this picture of her cat, and I don't know why that's what I decided to do, but that's what I decided to do.
I love that.
And it's gonna be fun. The best gift in like a year when it's done. It's gonna take
definitely
a long. So that's been my cross stitch. It's been fun, just something new that's still really simple. But I can't really do it on the go. Like it's an at-home project because I have to look at the charts and stuff for the pictures. But very fun. And then I have a crochet project, which is also kind of an acquisition. So this, my grandmother passed away this last month, and
I'm sorry.
Thank you. It's okay. I mean, she had a long battle with cancer, and it was very much expected. But there's a train coming by. You can probably hear that. Oh, wait a second. So I went to Texas with my family to go to her memorial, or to do her memorial service. And one of my aunts came across a blanket that my grandma had been crocheting and pulled it aside and gave it to me with all the yarn. And she told me to do whatever I want with it. So I'm going to finish it so I can have it. But so this much was done by my grandma, who I did not even know knew how to crochet. So this was a surprise to me. But it's just, she's doing like, this is the length of it, and then I guess she was crocheting across the width she wanted, which is convenient because I'll be able just to make it throw size, and it's nearly halfway done.
Love it.
So she just has like a bunch of grays and blues and stuff in this bag, and she's just doing
sounds like you.
Yeah, easy. I know. I thought that too. I was like, okay, go off. Like these are my colors. They're really fun. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do to mark. I guess I'm over here. I want to do something different to like differentiate. This is the part she did.
Work.
Yeah, exactly. So on a couple of the spots, she did something different I hadn't seen before. She like kind of wove through with some yarn in some spots. I thought I might just pull out a different color out of my stash, like a green or a red or something that's like different but kind of fits the vibe still.
Yeah.
And I could weave something there, but I don't know. I'm trying to decide.
I do love that idea.
I want it to be like, I mean, it'll just be me that knows what it is, but to kind of know like,
and all of your viewers who will never come into your house.
Exactly.
All of us.
Hey, if you're ever in Conway, hit me up. You can come see the blanket in person. Yeah, it just makes me happy. It's like the loops and threads, bulky yarn, and then there's some of like the Lion Brand homespun in here, and some other like Michael's hat yarn. I think it's Heartland. I can't remember. It didn't have tag. It's all bulky, so it's on a big hook. It'll go fast. Yeah. I did like one row, and it kind of made me really emotional. So I put it down, and I'll do just like a little bit here and there. But it made me happy. So it's kind of an acquisition and a whip that I will work on slowly but surely, and then have a blanket that my grandma made half of.
I love it. Yeah, my mom crochets, and I'm going to be the one to inherit all of her yarn, all of her like, she's very much like not as much of a yarn snob as I am, but her stash is pretty much as big as mine. But hers is all like acrylic blends and stuff like that, and cottons. I can't wait to get all of her cottons though.
Yes.
So I can knit all of the washcloths.
Absolutely.
But I'm not excited to get all of her unfinished projects because I'm not going to finish them because I can crochet, but I'm not good and I don't do it enough. Like I crocheted a sun hat a few years ago, like I think 4 or 5 years ago. That was fun, but I mean, I hurt my hands.
Yeah, it does.
I crochet really tight. Like I knit really tight.
Me too. I crochet really tight.
I'm a tight person.
Just tightly wound. I think if it had been like the expectation that they wanted me to finish it for someone else, I would have said no. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It was just like, we found this, she crocheted, and like my aunt thought of me, then like I'd love to have it and like work on it little by little. And there's no time limit. So like it could sit in my yarn room for decades and like it's not hurting anyone.
For sure.
I probably will work on it here and there, and it'd be nice to be able to throw over the back of my chair and just have that little. So I wasn't super close with my grandma. We lived really far apart for the majority of my life, and she moved closer in the last like 2 or 3 years, but she's been going through chemo and had really, really, really severe non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So it was just, she was experimental chemo. Her health was bad. Like I never really got to know her. And then when she was close enough, she was so sick. Like that's not the time to get to know someone really. So, but it's kind of just a nice memory because she was still my grandma. So
Can you hear the chainsaw in the background?
No.
Okay, cool. I won't shut my window then.
Maybe the viewers will, but they'll get over it.
Sorry guys. Hopefully it doesn't seem long. I couldn't hear the train in the background. So.
Oh, good. Okay. See, I always feel like I can't, but then Kristen always stops us and makes us wait. So I figure when she's editing, maybe she can hear it. I don't know.
Oh, was she editing this?
No.
Oh, I was like,
no, I'm not making her do that. That'd be so.
That would be so funny. She'd be like, because you missed out, you have to record. You have to edit all of this.
Editing. No.
Thank you so much. Baby on your chest the entire time, please.
Oh my God. No. That's silly. She films on her phone because when we first started, she had a nicer phone than me and it had like more storage. So she filmed and then I edited a couple, but she ended up taking over the editing. And so she does all that stuff. But now I have more storage than her, but we still just let her film and edit. Like we never adapted that. And it works. Like I don't know that I would get it done as efficiently as she tends to. So it's fine.
Yeah. I record on my phone usually, and then I will like airdrop it to my laptop, and then because I have a Mac.
That's exactly what I do.
Both ways. So I'm like, I don't do much editing either. I will occasionally like cut things because I tend to ramble, and sometimes I'll like be yammering, and then I'm like, this is important. Or like I'll go back and I'll be listening. I'm like, I do not need to be talking about this thing for 20 minutes. I'm just gonna edit this out. This is either too personal or it's like not something that I want to have shared.
Yeah. So. I end up doing that too, especially with my vlogs. I'm really bad about that. Is I'll talk to it like it's a diary sometimes. And then when I'm going through footage, I'll have to be like,
she's like, that's not okay for the internet.
Like, what am I doing? Why did I say that?
I'm like, I'm not this personal on mine.
Right. And then sometimes we'll like just Kristen and I, when we're podcasting, we'll just get going and end up like joking or saying inside jokes, and it's stuff that's like not gonna make sense. It's not gonna make everyone feel included. So we have to cut some stuff like that because we just get to chit chatting. It's funny. Oh man.
I got an Instagram memory. I think it was like last week of I was kind of dating this guy. Kind of dating in the fact that we had met up a few times, and he drove all the way from like 4.5 hours to see me over the summer while I was house sitting. And I brought him to the yarn store and he bought yarn and I taught him how to knit. Now we're not together, obviously, but it was just so funny because the Instagram story is taught my BF how to knit. And I was like, that's cringe.
Ick.
I hate that.
Yeah, when you gave yourself the ick, I
was like, I'm so desperate.
We all get like that. It happens.
Currently am, because it's been almost 2 months since somebody has texted me back. That's super fun.
What a jerk.
Yeah.
Awful.
But I like give all of these reasons because I know all of these reasons that like he's very much an old man when it tends to he doesn't care about having his phone on him. Like he will literally go on a 4-hour road trip without his phone. And doesn't care because he doesn't need it. And I'm like, can't relate.
Yeah, okay. I kind of get it in terms of personality type, but also if he wanted to, he would. So like,
yeah.
Unless he's like writing you letters or taking that road trip to your house, then like that's not an excuse for not communicating with you. Like, that's obnoxious.
Bye, men, I swear.
Men, ugh. In general. Goodness.
Who needs them? Apparently both of us.
Right? God, how did we get
women, men,
Oh, geez. What do we have left, Zach? Oh, acquisitions. Do you have stuff that you acquired?
My things, all of my things that I purchased. I'm like trying to think. I'm like, how do I want to talk about these 4 things that I have? I'll just show my first I'll show the yarn club stuff that I got. Yeah. So this is January, February, March, April's colorway, inspired by the red-tailed blackbird or something. I can't remember now. One sec. I was almost about to just like exit out of this.
Oh my god!
I was like, said bye. Screw this. Be right back. Be right back. Come on, Sarah. Show me the inspired by the red-winged blackbird. That's what it was. Which is a bird that uses the Mississippi to like help guide its migration.
I love that color.
Yeah. So it's like a black mane with some red and speckles and red binny. I picked this up before I got a band for it. So I was at the store when she was done. I was like, I'm gonna just take these. Thank you.
I do that at Arkansas Yarn Co. all the time.
I'm like, these are done. Oh, perfect. I'll just have mine right now. Thank you.
I have literally taken yarn home wet. Like I've hung it on like the garment hooks in my car and let it as I drive. And she's like,
love that.
Tell anyone. I'm like, here.
Love that. And then this is the one for May.
It's kind of Christmassy.
It's called the Jungle Room.
I love it.
And I believe it's inspired. Again, let me just look at her Instagram and find out. I'd rather give you the most accurate information than me guessing.
Right.
In Graceland, this is the inspiration for Elvis's Jungle Room, which I think is like somewhere that Elvis stayed, like a hotel or something.
My dad.
That green shag carpet paired off with wood and amber tones is sending me down a mid-century rabbit hole, says Sarah on her Instagram.
My dad grew up in West Memphis, like right next to Graceland. So he's talked about it a few times. I've never been. I don't know if he's even ever been. He grew up there, but yeah. I'm not
so that's
this buff, but
these are my next 2.
Those are really cute.
And like my goal for all of these is to make a pair of socks out of all of them. Then I don't know what I'm gonna do with my leftovers because I have at least 50 grams from my first pair left.
Is that too much for your blanket, your jigsaw blanket?
No, I mean, but I don't know if I want to. I think I want to put them all in the same project together. So like maybe doing another blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure yet. Or maybe like the spring cleaning shawl by Stephen.
Something.
Yeah, that came out. I feel like that came out in 2018.
Okay.
Like right when I got back into knitting, it came out.
Okay.
Yeah. So my next one, so obviously in May, I was like in May, beginning of May, Minnesota had their Sheep and Wool Festival.
Yeah.
So I went to that for the first time with some knitting friends here in St. Paul. I didn't buy any fiber or anything there.
Way to go.
But I bought like food and things and whatever. But then we went, it was really close to a yarn store in Stillwater called Darn It Anyway. Mm-hmm. So we went there and they carry La Bien Aimée yarn. And I finally caved and purchased a skein of Helix.
That's pretty.
This one is Helix. In this dark bluey teal color.
Love it. I've had 2 skeins of La Bien Aimée. One Kristen bought for me and I knit it into a Musselburgh and I've never worn it because I like knit it at the end of like last season and then just never got around to wearing it. And then this past winter, it was in one of my drawers and I never remembered. And like, I have a little like hanging basket thing by my entryway where I keep knit hats and things for us in the winter. So there's just like baskets of the hats and I never cycle it in there. So I just didn't wear it. Because we have like 4 or 5 that we wear a lot. So it's just been sitting there for 2 years unworn. And it's such good yarn.
That's so funny.
So silly. So I need to pull it out. But then I have another skein of La Bien Aimée I don't even remember. I might have bought it at a festival. And it's just like, I cherish it so much. Like, I don't even know what to do with it because it just feels so special.
Yeah, I've purchased 3 skeins of hobby anime. One sport that is currently still not been used that I bought when I was in Kansas City. I bought and knit a hat out of some DK for a friend for his birthday, and then this. And I'm planning on making the pure mesh pullover.
Ooh, that'll be cool. That'll be really, really cool. I love the yarn stores in Kansas City. I went last summer for something and did checked out like 3 or 4 of the yarn stores, and they were so cute. Like,
yeah, I only went to one because our hotel was super close to one. I was there for a choir tour.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go that far.
I don't even remember. There's one that was my favorite, and their logo was orange. I don't remember what they were.
Social.
Yes, I love them.
That's where I got that skein. Yeah.
That was the best one. So you lucked out.
I did. I got some really cool stickers that I still haven't used. That's like a yarn banana, yarn hot dog, and yarn burger.
I love it.
They're so funny.
That's awesome. I got a bunch of notions at that one. I don't remember if I bought yarn or not, but I know I got like notions pouches for me and Kristen and so much cute stuff. My dog is driving me nuts. Cut it out.
Cut it out.
She's over there trying to dig through the whole floor. Goodness.
And then my last one, I actually didn't purchase, but it's another skein of Mondine sock yarn. Last week, I met up with the Twin Knitties, which is a knitting social group collective of mostly young women. They're me and I think one other male presenting person, a few non-binary people as well.
Yeah.
All bodies. We met up at the Yarnery, which is the yarn store close to me in St. Paul.
Cool.
And I walked there because it's so close. I was like, I'm gonna walk. It was so nice. And then I got there super early, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk over to the coffee shop that's down the road because I knew there were some people there doing a yarn exchange, but I forgot to bring yarn to exchange. But I still just snug.
Left out.
I stole yarn. I stole this yarn.
That's awesome. It's cute. It's good yarn.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like Oreo ice cream.
Yeah, that's so fun. I love
it's like a beige with black speckles.
It's a good sock color for sure. I like it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I love it. I haven't bought any yarn, I don't think. I know I've gotten a couple things in the mail, and I don't know what I've shown and what I haven't shown.
Yeah.
We got so much stuff coming in with squares for the blanket, which I've been working on. It's in there by my bed. I didn't pull it all out. I'll show it next time probably. But I've been working on joining all those squares together for that massive blanket, which is an endeavor. And
I bet.
It's a lot. I'm just doing a little bit here and there. And I think it's going to go pretty quickly because I'm just doing a join as you go method.
Yeah.
But a single crochet join as you go instead of like a granny square join as you go, because I was planning to do granny square join as you go, but then I realized they are not granny squares because they start off granny, but then you finish them with a single crochet. So I couldn't do the method I already knew. So I kind of made one up, and it's actually a lot faster. So
good.
That's nice. And I think it'll look good and use a little less yarn, which will be nice because then I can use some of the leftover yarn for a pillow to match the blanket.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Cute. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to think. I acquired a new tattoo, so that's exciting. It's kind of hard to show because of the angle. It's 2 crows, and I'll put a picture. It's for my grandparents that passed when I was in high school. So my dad's parents. But my grandpa always fed crows. Every night after dinner, he would go outside with bread and feed the crows in his backyard. And crows are so freaking smart. They very quickly learned who he was and got to know him. So you go outside of my grandpa's backyard and it's covered in crows. And they would bring him presents like marbles and little shiny things and rocks. And the crows loved him, and he was just out there. And it just is a real testament to who my grandpa was as a person. And how much he valued everyone and everything, that every single day he went out there and fed the crows.
I love that.
It's so heartwarming, makes me so happy. And all of my brothers and I have talked about getting crow tattoos to commemorate them. And so one of my crows, I'm going to insert a picture, but one has a little marble in its mouth. and the other doesn't. And my grandma collected rocks, so the rock is kind of symbolizing her too. So did two little crows and crows mate for life, which makes me think of them as well because they were married for a hella long time. So
I love that.
It made me so happy. I was just in a funk last week, and then my tattoo artist who had been working on this design with me had some openings. And I was like, okay, that will lift my spirits. And man, did it. Like, it was so nice. It was so fun to get, and it just looks so good. I love it a lot. So that's my acquisition, and I like it better than yarn.
That's yeah. I'm still contemplating my tattoo idea of a hourglass. I don't know if you've heard about that. I basically want to get an hourglass like along like the front facing part of my arm, like not truly the side, but like the side that like it's presented the most. And at the top of it, I either want like a ball of yarn or like a cake of yarn. And then the yarn is like going down the hourglass into a knitted object. So
I love that. That's so cute. Yeah, I just have my coffee one over here, and then my finger ruler, which I use every day and I love. So now this is my third one, and I have a long list of other tattoos I want, but the crows
have 6.
6. Oh, my husband has so many, and I'm just always I want more. He's getting one next week too, but
ooh, fun.
Yep. Oh gosh, I love them. They're addictive.
I'm also on the fence still right now if I want to get a yarn advent. Still, there are a few.
Ew.
I have a like a gift certificate for a yarn dyer in the UK. Basically, the certificate is basically only covering the shipping from the UK to the US, which is totally fair.
Yeah.
So I'm still like, at this point, I would have to pay in full, which is totally fine. Like I probably was going to do that anyway. I feel more comfortable doing that than paying in installments.
Yeah.
But I'm just like on the fence, so because I still have to pay rent and things.
Right, all those stupid bills. So I didn't get one last year because I've just been trying to like reel in my yarn purchasing because it got out of hand for like a year there. Just with like the podcast, and it's like when you're talking about it so much, you just constantly want all the things.
Yeah.
So, and I also just felt like if I'm going places or doing things, like I need to be buying things to have things to show on the podcast, which is kind of silly. Like a little bit, yes, but also I don't have to pour that much money into it. I could just show what I'm
doing sometimes.
And it's a balance. Like I do want to like explore new dyers and new small businesses and showcase them on the podcast and like do all of that. But also I was buying a lot and people send a good bit to the podcast. It was like, I just had way too much. And so I really haven't, I think I've only bought like 3 skeins of yarn all year. And it was for my Mother's Day shawl. Yeah, I like really, and like no judgment because I'm going to go back to buying yarn soon. Yeah. But I just kind of reeled it in just to show myself that I didn't have to do that. I could still have just as much content and just as much enjoyment out of it and all that without purchasing and having like constant mail coming. Yeah. So it's been nice to take a little break from that and like appreciate what I have and get creative with what projects I'm doing based on what I've already purchased and what I liked at that time or thought I would like. So yeah. I don't remember why I started saying all that, but
yarn advent calendars.
Yeah. So I didn't buy one last year, and I think I did an advent swap with someone. I'm pretty sure. So I had minis to open, where I just like did minis from my stash and stuff. But I don't know if I even want to do that this year. Like the opening something every day was fun, but it was also like stressful to feel like I had to keep up with that.
Yeah, especially like recording Vlogmas.
Yeah.
Last year I was so busy. I was like, I mentally can't record and edit every night and upload the next day because I would be working nights and then I have to open the next day.
It's crazy.
And I was like, can't do that. So then I did the week thing.
Weekly. Yeah, those were good.
That was nice. I loved it.
Yeah, that's a lot more.
I almost forgot about it a few times.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll probably get the cozy knitter socks again and do like an advent self-striping.
I haven't done self-striping in a while. I might do that.
I love the self-striping advents. I think they're so much more attainable. Like it's not all that unnecessary packaging for an individual advent. And that's a big thing for me is I feel a lot of like, honestly probably guilt about like single-use plastic, which is such a silly thing to feel guilty about probably, but also it's like things like that. There's so much where it's not really avoidable in my life where there are just some things. So when it comes to like packaging and more sustainable shopping and choosing shops that ship more sustainably and like the cleaning in my home, like I'm really attentive to that kind of stuff. So an Advent always felt like really silly. It's like just a lot of packaging for nothing. I mean, it's not nothing because it's a lot of yarn, it's a lot of labor and they're beautiful, but I don't know, like one skein of self-striping is a lot less of a commitment, and it's like one stripe a day, and that's really achievable. It's not difficult.
Definitely, yeah.
I think I'll do that again.
Yeah, I want to see, because my first year I did Freckle Whimsy. Did somebody else another year?
But I don't even remember where I started that to say. Advent calendars. It's just, I feel like I don't like minis that much. So I don't know.
I still have my minis from my Muse 2320 that I have left over. I have 5 grams left over of each color from my habitation throw.
Yeah, and they just aren't never ending, which is really cool, but also really exhausting. It's a lot of ends. And I think the first year we did the podcast, I got like 3 Advent calendars. And the year after that, I think I did 2, and then I did none because I was like immediately overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I think the first year, like I ordered 2 and somebody sent me 1. And then the second year was the same, like ordered 1 and somebody sent me 1, which is so generous and so nice.
But didn't you get sent the charm one?
Yeah, the Best of Stitch Co. one. Mm-hmm. Which is so cute. But that is more Christmas stitch markers than one human being needs. Like to have from the Stitch Marker Advent and 2 Arkansas Yarn Co. Advents and other stuff. Like I've given away so many Christmas stitch markers and I still have such an abundance, and I don't love Christmas that much.
Yeah.
Like I like it, but it's not
it's too close to my birthday for me to care, in my opinion.
Yeah, when's your birthday?
The 17th.
Okay.
So literally a week before.
Yeah, way too close. Exactly. Yeah. So I think I'm just off of the Advent bandwagon for a while. It's not my jam.
I get it.
Oh man. What else do we have to talk about?
I did, however, on like that kind of train, how I didn't get like a main. Last year I got the holiday box from Le Garçon.
Oh yeah.
And I opened all of that, and I have that, and I still haven't knit the project, nor have I considered, because I was going to consider knitting the Paris to Montreal cowl that they did 2 years ago for their holiday box with the Yeti one, because I don't really love like the vertical cowl vibe. Like that's not my vibe, but I love like an infinity scarf moment.
Yep.
So I was going to do that. Still haven't started it. Might do it this Christmas since I'll have time. But I was knitting on a Christmas sweater, all over colorwork Christmas sweater for like my Advent project. Yeah. And I got the body done, and my sleeves are just not done because I didn't want to do my colorwork magic loop. Mm-hmm. So I finally, the one thing I did buy at the yarn festival was some 8 and 10 inch cords for chow goose with the short tips. Yeah, because the yarn truck was there, and they carry those, and I was like, thank God. So I have to try those.
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
Might try to do that in July, like a Christmas in July. Try to knit this at least one sleeve.
I could do my little Christmas cowl in July. Cute. Be fun. I don't know. I just need something to break my knitting lull. I need something, and I don't know what it is. Just not sure. Brioche. Yeah, I thought about casting on something brioche. I don't know. Nothing is calling to me. Like even looking at my projects, I only have 3 whips right now. That's insane, and I don't feel like knitting any of them.
That was me, and then I cast on my old part, and I was like, oh yes, nice. Me right now knitting on these socks. I'm like, oh, I love this.
That happens so often. Like one project will just call to me and it fixes everything. I'm just waiting for that project to jump out at me right now.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh man. Well, I don't think I have anything else.
I
Oh,
don't have anything else here unrelated.
yeah, let's talk about what books we've read.
Oh, bookies.
Bookies.
Do we
Uh,
tell the people if they don't care to leave?
oh yeah. I think that's all the yarny stuff. Thank you.
Okay.
That's all the yarny stuff. So we will.
Sometimes I leave at this point.
That's valid.
No
Very
shame.
valid. No shame in that whatsoever. You do not have to stay. We're going to talk about things we've read. We'll probably have a little chatter. We're going to wrap it up here soon, though. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. If you are not subscribed to Zack already, head over there and do that. Follow him and us if you're not subscribed over here.
Yeah.
And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
With Kristen?
I don't know. Hopefully.
Oh, okay.
She's feeling it out. We're seeing. Life's
okay.
Not a new baby. We'll see what's happening.
JJ's a lot.
Yeah.
JJ's a lot.
Sure. I can't imagine. So
No.
Original plan, yes, she'll be back, but we'll see
Stunning.
how things happen. We don't know. Life is difficult.
Fair. I get that.
Okay, books.
Do you want to go first with books?
Yeah, I'll go first. I don't remember last time I talked about books. I think I did talk about reading Geneva Rose's You Shouldn't Have Come Here. That was her newest novel. Yeah, I did talk about that because I remember at the beginning of it not really being into it, that it felt very smutty, which is not my favorite thing.
Oh yeah. Did you continue
it? Did. I finished it. I liked it. I gave it 3 stars, which is good for me. Like that's a good read. And it was good. It ended up being a thriller. It was just, the sex scenes were so vivid, and like I was listening to it as an audiobook. I don't want that. It was just a lot, but it ended up being really good. And I do like Geneva Rose a lot. All of her stuff is kind of like that, where it's just like a lot of people really enjoy that kind of read. I like it for the thriller side, just not so much like the romance sex side, but it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read 2 books by Lisa Jewell, which I have a little tangent to go on about Lisa Jewell, because I read Watching You, which was one of her newer ones. I think I gave it 3 stars, and it was good. It was a quick read. Hers are like thriller type books too, usually. And then I started Before I Met You, which Lisa Jewell wrote in 2012, and immediately got bad vibes from this book. Like within the first chapter, it was like, I don't know how I feel about this. It was making me kind of uncomfy. And I made a couple of chapters, and the way she was describing characters was racist. There's no other way. Like it was just, I know it was set in Europe, and I posted about this on my Instagram story, and I got kind of a mixed response from it. And a lot of people that are just like, ew, gross, like taking her off my list, which is how I feel. I will not read a Lisa Jewell book again. I didn't finish it. I gave it 1 star. I left a detailed review, and I've taken the rest of her work off of my list because I looked at the reviews on this book, and her newer stuff has been really good, but this is one of her first books. But 2012 is not that long ago. And the way she describes people of color, characters of color, and queer characters in this book is really gross. It made me really uncomfortable, and it's bigoted. There's no other way. And I got a lot of messages, but like, well, that's kind of the time, and that's kind of the place. Like it was a long time ago. And while part of me can understand the inclination to justify it and say, well, it was in 2012 and her newer stuff isn't like that, and people change, but the work is still out there and she's profiting off of it. And it had racist undertones. It used slurs at least 3 times from what I read in the reviews. I heard 1 before I quit. And
racist slurs or homophobic?
Yeah. And it just, there were lots of things about it. You can read the reviews for it and get more detail there, because I didn't finish it. So I don't want to speak to exactly what was in it because I didn't read it firsthand. Everything I heard just made me really uncomfortable in the way people of color were being described. And there was a queer character that was just like really, really overly sexualized and like written in a way where she was trying to make you uncomfortable with the fact that this girl was gay. And yeah, and it was just like that personification that like, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe. And it was annoying too because the story was good. So like, yeah, her other stuff has been really well written, and it's the type of thriller where it really pulls you in and you really want to know what's happening.
And then you were like, but like, also,
damn it. So, but whatever, it wasn't that good. But It was worse than it was good. You know what I mean?
Got it. Yeah.
So, anywho, that's kind of my rant about that. And I read 4 more books. So I read The Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. Gave that one 3 stars. It was really good. It was like kind of a historical fiction fantasy thing.
Fantasy.
I know. Do I have a list all of a sudden? It's like placed in Egyptian time, like in Egypt in ancient Egyptian times, I think. But it was like a fantasy, not obviously a real story. It was really good.
In Egyptian times. Sorry.
I meant to say
I just processed that.
Ancient Egyptian times.
In Egypt times.
Shut up.
Right now in Egypt.
I left off the word ancient in ancient Egyptian time. Historical in Egypt.
Sorry, I didn't tell you this. I'm an Aries moon.
Oh God, Egyptian times. I'm a fucking idiot.
Because you know how you live in Missouri? No, Arkansas time. I live in Minnesota times.
Yeah, that's us. Oh,
not geez. Central time.
We passed it. That's so funny. I also read both of Michelle Obama's autobiographies, and they were both phenomenal. I love them. If you've not read them, I highly recommend.
I have not.
Her first was called Becoming, and it was really good. Her newest one, The Light We Carry, I would start with that one. It's short, so it is a faster read, but it was it's written like, I think it came out last year. And so she talks a lot about her perspective and her experience in leaving the White House and Donald Trump coming into the White House, and her take on that, her feelings on that. And it was just very good. Very raw and real, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. It was her. I do too. I love her. So I read both of those.
Michelle Obama for president.
Honestly, at the end of her newer one, The Light We Carry, she even addressed that. She said, lots of people ask me if I have any political aspirations, and she basically says, like, hell no, never.
After watching My Husband, no.
Yeah, it's like, no. Michelle, I get it. It was so good though. I loved it. And then I finished it while I was getting my tattoo, 20 Years Later by Charlie Donnelly. I need to rate this one. It was really good. It's another like crime thriller situation and kind of based around 9/11, but it doesn't dive into 9/11 itself. It's an individual who is accused of a crime and going to trial for a crime that she says she didn't commit. But then she dies in 9/11 and her lawyer dies in 9/11. And so her case gets dropped. And then this is like 20 years later, a reporter like catches wind of the case and is like picking it up to do a story. And then so you see how this trial would have unfolded had it been tried, but then it was stopped by 9/11. It was a whole thing. It was so good though. I loved how it was written. Yeah. It was really, really cool. I tend to really enjoy thrillers that like are able to jump back and forth in time to give you different pieces of a story, but do it in a clear way where it's not like confusing. Yeah. And this was like that. So highly recommend. That's what I read.
My turn?
Yes, your turn.
Okay. So I actually like finished a book, and that was really exciting for me because I haven't like I set a goal for myself this year. It's like, I'm gonna read books more. I've not done that. Except
if you finished a book, then you're reading.
I did. Well, yeah. Not really, but I listened to it. So I have this app. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Hoopla.
Yeah.
It's basically, So it's connected to my library account. And this was in my recommended. It's called Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Von Pelt. Mm-hmm. Listen to the audiobook. It is narrated by 2 people because there are 2 different like characters. 3 different characters technically, but 2 human, 1 octopus. And I love it. It was so good. It was such a sweet and touching story about like finding your true family and like realizing that like your family isn't who you really expect it to be, and like people are so much different than how you expect them to like act.
Absolutely.
It's really lovely, really touching. There is a knitting group in the book, which I thought was so funny.
I love that.
Like, love that. Love old ladies that knit. I think it's actually her first book that she's like written.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting. and I can't wait to like read more of her stuff. Yeah, but I finished listening to it and then I went to Barnes and Noble and bought it because I wanted to like physically support the author.
Yeah.
Plus, then I can give it to people who actually like to read books. Because I'd rather listen to a book than like read a book, because then I can have my hands free.
Yeah, I'm the same. I like audiobooks. I use Libby. It's similar to Hoopla. It's another app that connects with your library. So I use Libby for audiobooks and ebooks, and I read a lot on my Kindle. That's kind of my go-to way, but I do love an audiobook. Or I like to be able to knit while I'm reading.
Mm-hmm. And then another book that I started listening to The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Susan Collins. It's the prequel book to like the Hunger Games series, but it's written after the entire series. So it's basically jumping back, I think it's 40 years to like the 10th Hunger Games, where President Snow is like young and is actually like a mentor for a tribute, and the movie comes out in like July.
Oh, cool. Didn't know that.
So basically, like the first like 10 years of the Hunger Games was just like the Capitol gathering children and sending them to slaughter and kill each other. But then at like the 10 or 11th Hunger Games, they're like, we need some more entertainment. This isn't getting the traction that it needs to.
That's fucked.
So yeah. So basically they've like assigned these like students, these like kids of the exact same age as to like mentor them in like interviewing and like skill and like how to like best like inspire people, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'm not that far on it because I started it when I was walking to work.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good so far. It's an interesting concept because you see President Snow in this manner of his family was actually really poor in view of the Capitol. Like his family is not well known.
Okay.
Like he's like a close to a district member in the Capitol, like wealth wise, which is really interesting to think about.
That's fascinating. Huh. I will have to read that because I loved the Hunger Games books.
I did. Yeah. I couldn't read the third book though.
Yeah.
I read the first and second book, but I could not get into reading the third book at all. I just like, it just didn't vibe with me. But I was also like in middle school when I read it.
Yeah, we were young. Exactly. Yeah, I read all of them. I think they were really good. I enjoyed those. And you know what other book? I'm trying to remember what it's called. God, and they made it into movies and Logan Lerman starred in it. And I loved these books. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was another like kind of fantasy. It was like mythology.
You said that and you lost me.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna Google.
I kind of want to say Maze Runner.
I liked that, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. Let's see what Logan Lerman has been in. We're gonna pull up IMDb because all my brother Percy Jackson. Did you read those?
I didn't, but I watched the movie.
Oh, I loved all the Percy Jackson books and movies. They were so good. And there's another series by that same author that's in Egyptian times. Based in Egypt and like Egyptian mythology, and it was really good. Those are such a throwback to like good fantasy books when we were kids. Love it.
And then another series that I want to like kind of start, I think you might really like this because it's very much in like your wheelhouse of being like a thriller. But I was hanging out with some friends and she was reading this book series called Coffee House Mysteries. It's by Chloe Coley. I don't know if you can see that.
On What Grounds?
Oh, yeah. So it's called On What Grounds, and it's like a 20 book series. And the paperbacks are like $8.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, that's lovely. So basically it's a murder mystery thriller book, all to do with coffee, and all of them are like coffee puns. So like a book is called like Decaf Corpse and like espresso shot, like On What Ground, like that's so funny. So like I really want to like there are not all of the books have audiobooks, but also with the fact that they're like $8 on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, I feel like they're not long books. So
cute. Yeah, I just added the first ones to my Goodreads so I could remember to read them.
my friend told me I need to get Goodreads, and I need to do that still.
I love Goodreads. We have a We Shiny Needles group on Goodreads. We're not very active in it, but we would be if more people were on it. Because Kristen and I both track everything in Goodreads, like what we're reading and our want to read list. And I have on my Goodreads, I'll link it below, a bookshelf for all the podcast recs. So any books that people leave in the comments that they think we need to read, tag all those on Goodreads. So you can go to like one spot and see like what's been recommended here. So I can keep up with it, but I share those with others too. So I'm a big, and if you use Amazon for stuff, it links seamlessly. Like it's so, when you pull up Goodreads, it'll literally suggest like, you bought this on Amazon, are you reading it? And you can just hit yes, and it'll add it to your, so I'm a big fan. It's just nice to track it and keep up with like what you're reading, when you're reading it, what you like, what you don't like.
Mm-hmm. I also, for my birthday, my best friend got me the First to Die at the end. First to Die at the end, which is the prequel to They Both Die in the End.
I don't know those.
Which is like a gay love story book. It's like set in the future.
I love it.
Set in the future, and basically I've only read like 2 or 3 chapters of this book because then it's just a physical book, so I haven't been like picking it up to read it. But it's like a multi narration, like two characters, both different storylines, and then they end up meeting, and they're both homosexuals, and they fall in love.
I just added it to my list too.
That's okay. Yeah, but basically it's also like there's this app that can track when and tell you when you're gonna die. So like the day you're gonna die, you're gonna get a text, be like, you died today, happy death day. Haha.
No, that'd be terrible.
It's like,
I would not want that.
No,
would you want to know the day you're gonna die?
No.
Me either.
Nor would I want to know how I die.
No, absolutely not. Oh my gosh, tell us in the comments, you guys, if you're still here.
God.
Are you the type of person that would want to know? Like, if someone could tell you right now when you're gonna die and how you're gonna die.
Like in Big Fish?
Would you want that information? Because I would not. I would absolutely not want that information. No. I'm good. No, thank you.
No, ma'am.
That's fascinating.
I'm good.
Oh, that book sounds good though. Just sounds like terrible news to receive.
Yeah, definitely. Just getting a text in the morning, waking up, ready for a good day. You're like, actually, you're gonna die today.
Would you go to work?
No, I would. If I was gonna die, I literally would take all of my clothes off and just run around the street naked. That's probably how I would die, because I'd probably get
you'd get shot
by the cops.
At least here you would.
I'm from St. Paul, Minneapolis. So if I went to Minneapolis, I probably would.
Jeez. No, I don't know what I would do. Oh my God, right. It's always too soon because it's always happening. So not funny, but it is the life we live. I don't know what I would do if I woke up to a text that said I was going to die today and it was reputable. I knew it was real. I have no idea what I would do with that day.
Like, I wouldn't leave my apartment. I'd be like, no, I'm not. That's a lie.
Like, you'd die anyway. Like, if you're going to die, you can die in your own apartment.
True.
So I don't think I would fight it. I don't think I would be like the type to be like, no, I'm going to like do something to counter it. I'm just like, I would spend time with people I love, I guess. I'd make sure my will is up to date.
I'd write a will.
You
don't even like save your will. You're just like typing it and it doesn't save and your computer dies.
No, I have a will. It's fine. My husband's in the army. They make sure we have.
Yeah, I was gonna say
paperwork in order. Anytime he deploys, we have to update that nonsense.
Gross.
Oh my goodness. I know. Ew. In the army? Ugh.
Gross. Men.
Goodness. Boys. Gosh, that's a mess. That sounds terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing I was gonna die. Wow. I'll be thinking about that for a while now.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that one.
Try it, yeah.
Jeez. I think that's all we've got though. I don't have anything else.
I don't have anything else.
Go on about.
Do you have any future anything on your horizon that you're wanting to knit?
I've got some gift knits I need to do. These tubes are sitting on my chair here because I need to cut them apart for a pair of socks.
Nice.
But I don't want to do it. I just am going to, because it's either this or knit a whole pair of socks, and that won't be happening.
Yeah.
I love sock tubes for this though. Like, this was,
I've never done a sock tube. There were some sock tubes at the yarn festival that I was at, but they all were 72 stitches. And I don't knit 72 stitches anymore. At least I thought they were. That's what I counted.
Yeah.
Nor because they weren't labeled otherwise, like how many stitches they were. They just said sock tube, and I was like, but is it 64 or 72?
Weird. I've never just purchased sock tubes, but I've sent them to people to like be turned into sock tubes. So these are 60 stitches. This yarn I got at a yarn store in Germantown, right outside of Memphis, and it was like a 300 gram ball of sock yarn. So it's like marketed to be like socks for the whole family, and they said enough to get like socks for a man, a woman, and a child. So I just had
a family, 3 people.
Yeah, 3 people.
That's not a family. A family is a household with 2.5 kids. Mom, dad, 2.5 kids.
2.5? I don't want
2.5.
that. Mine's just male and female, so I'm fine.
1 foot.
A dog. But it was.
Oh my god, are you gonna knit any of the Stephen West dog sweaters?
I don't know. My dog is so fat. She's the chunkiest little beagle. She's adorable.
Shocker.
Yeah, she's a lot. She's over there looking at me because I'm talking about her. So probably not. She also just like Max is a lot. So I don't know if she would like dog sweater. I don't think she would.
She's like, Mom, excuse me.
She's
get
mad.
Her claws all stuck in it.
Yeah, she like is itchy a lot, so I feel like she would just tear it up. I don't know. I probably won't. But if I had anyone in my life who had like a small dog that wanted one, I
did that.
Yeah, I just don't.
I test knit the brioche version, and then I gave it to Sarah for her little chihuahua.
I love that. Yeah, so I might one day, but not for my dog. Goodness. Yeah, that's really all I have on my plan though, is some gift knits, cut up these tubes, and then try and get some mojo back. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'll do it, but I'll try somehow.
Best of luck.
I'm hopeful. I miss knitting. When I sit down, I have not wanted to knit. I've been reading a lot, but
that's good.
It's all right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you for hanging out with me. This was a lot more fun than podcasting alone.
Oh, yes. Oh, I haven't podcasted with anybody ever. So this was fun for me as well.
Yes. I'm going to try and edit it like today and tomorrow. Ideally, I'll get it up this weekend, but it might be next week. Who knows? It'll go when it goes up. I'll tag you and everything. Chill. Why is my dog losing her shit right now? Yeah. No. Ugh. Anyway.
That was fun.
Goodbye, friend.
Goodbye.
Bye.